Well, England did a typical England and bottled it right at the end, but for once, we actually deserved to win. We played fantastic football, and it was a looping header in the last couple of minutes. Russia literally had one other shot on target, and that was straight at Joe Hart. They had a shot that went just wide, but England dominated. But this is what happens when you have a defensive coach with an attacking team. Like the amount of options we've got up front, and I know he's getting credited for playing what most people think are more forwards, but the thing is, we played a 4-3-3 and we pushed Lallana as a winger, and fair play, he played very well today, I'm not going to deny that, but we played a 4-3-3, he's brought 5 strikers, even though Rooney, you can class him as a centre mid now, he's barely going to play as a striker for Man United or for England very much, so he can be counted as a midfielder, so you've got 4 strikers, and he plays 1. And Harry Kane didn't have the best game of his career, but it's largely down to the tactics we deployed. We did try and get in early crosses, and they just kept going like 1 foot just out of reach. But Harry Kane, like you could see he was struggling, so just take him off. I mean, we've got Sturridge, we've got Vardy, we've got Rashford on the bench, and he just didn't use them. And then when we go 1-0 up, he takes Rooney off, and I'm a Man United fan, but I'm not being biased. Like, Rooney was the dictator in midfield. He was everywhere, and there's every chance he might have been on the line to stop that corner from going in right at the end, because he's done it for Man United. He in the FA Cup finally, he burst back and managed to head it away off the line. So he was everywhere, and I'm not disagreeing. Bring Wilshere on, fair enough, but just take someone else off. Dele Alli wasn't amazing, he was solid, but you could have taken him off. You could have taken Sterling off earlier instead of replacing him with Milner. By the end of it, we deployed a 4-1-4-1 with Milner and Lallana as right mid and left mid, not wingers, and then Harry Kane was completely isolated. So, like, I know we went defensive and all that when you're 1-0 down, but it's just so irritating. It's just typical England. Like, we're used to disappointment, but I suppose we've already levelled what points total we had in the World Cup. 1. Yay. But optimism, there was a lot of positives, a lot of brilliant performances from players. Wayne Rooney had a solid game. Kyle Walker, in my opinion, was probably... I'd say it's between him, Rooney and Lallana for man of the match. Dyer scored the goal from the free kick. Obviously, he had a very, very solid game as well. Cahill made a great clearance early on. Smalling was solid against, is it Juba? Is that how he says his name? The 6'5" striker Russia have up top. But very, very promising from England, but just not enough of the final product. And that's generally down to tactics, I think. The players played very well, but Hodgson got his tactics wrong, in my opinion. And hopefully we can try and play 2 up top next time. I mean, the problem is... 4-3-3, fair enough, but we just don't have enough wingers. I know Lallana played very well as a winger, but it would have been better to utilise him in midfield maybe, and we've got a lot of midfielders. I know there's problems here and there, but you have to be doing better. You just have to. You can't be leaving 3 strikers on the bench. Like, what is the point in bringing them all if you're benching 3 and you didn't even use any? Vardy would have been subbed on had we hadn't scored. That phrase, but anyway, yeah, like he would have came on, but we scored, so obviously we made more defensive-minded substitutes. But enough complaining. I mean, I'm gonna remain optimistic. It is a killer blow. Like in the last couple of minutes, it's horrible. The fans for Russia in the stadium, the ones that attack the England fans, is just ridiculous. I know England caused some riots. The fans, I'm not denying that, in Marseille, and there was brawls, and there's reports. Some saying Russia started it, but before that, where England were just causing mindless hooliganism. Is that a word? But yeah, like a very small minority, but still, it's just not in football. Like, why do you go to a football game just to do that? Like, you're not a fan. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, 1-1, not a fair result. England should have won, but it might be enough to get through, because a lot of third place teams, I think, go through this time because of the new system. So Wales won. They look likely to qualify now. All they need realistically is a point against England or Russia, and they're effectively through. So well done to them. 58 years since they've last been in it. That's our next opponent, and I'm confident if we play the way we did with a different system, I think we'll get the points, even though Wales played very well against Slovakia. But we'll have to wait and see. I mean, hopefully we just don't go out in the group stage. I mean, come on, we've had too much disappointment. Let's be optimistic.